Look at that. Look at this piece. What's the time? Who gives a fuck? I'm rich. A lot of temptation. Remember the honey from Hotlanta from the Pink Pony? What about the girl from KC with the natties? She's about 6'1", straight up corn theory. Let's not forget about your teammate's mother. Sexual rock bottom right there.
We better head to the VIP room. Bust out the heavy artillery.
You know, it feels like she's about to read my fortune. She about to take your fortune. Sabella's worth every penny.
Anything to your liking, sir?
I like them all. This one.
It's beautiful.
Or this one.
If that's her style.
This one should do it then.
Right?
How much is this gonna cost?
$400,000.
What the? How much did you say?
Let's welcome to the program actor Carl McDowell. Carl, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this. So let's get right to it. Every story has a beginning. Your upbringing, you grew up in certainly one of the great cities of the world. That's the city of Chicago and the Windy City. Can you kind of tell us briefly about what your upbringing was like?
My upbringing was cool. I was a mama's boy. I did grow up in the ghetto of Chicago, like the project. So it wasn't so cool to stay there. It was kind of scary. But, I mean, I guess I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's what made me who I am. And that was my upbringing at Chicago.
All right, let's stay with your hometown for a moment. I was doing some research on you. You said that you were a pretty good athlete. At high school, you excelled in 3 sports, in football, baseball, and wrestling. Was it something that were you a natural athlete? Was this something that you just were born with, like a natural athletic ability, or was it something that you had to develop?
I think I was just born with it. I always gravitated towards sports. Like, I watched WWF, so when I went to high school wrestling, I thought it was going to be like WWF wrestling. I even asked them when I got to practice, I was like, where's the ring? And they was like, no, it's not that type of wrestling. So I kind of just gravitated towards wrestling, like the WWF wrestling, and football, basketball, baseball. Anything that had a ball, I kind of wanted to play it or wanted to learn how to play it.
All right, good to hear. So now you excelled in high school in 3 sports, and then also let's talk about the transition to college, and then also you played a little semi-pro ball as well. Tell our audience just a little bit about your college and your semi-pro experience.
I went to a couple different colleges. I went to Illinois Valley and Oglesby, Illinois. I went to Joliet and Joliet, Illinois, and I went to Lincoln University in Missouri. And in the semi-pros, I played for Indiana Mustangs and the Champaign Jaguars. In college, I played like cornerback and wide receiver, but in semi-pros, I played running back and quarterback mostly.
Okay, awesome to hear. So now let's make the transition now, because while you were in college, not only were you doing your thing on the football field, but also you made a transition into another career, which would certainly you would pursue full time, which is an acting career. So can you tell our audience just a little bit about the transition going from football into acting?
The transition, well, I mean, I'd never intended on going into acting. I thought I was going to be a professional football player, so it was just I focused mostly on football, and that was my life. So in college, they gave us classes where we wouldn't really have to pay attention in class or even really go to the class. It was just these classes that they give you so you can mostly focus on football. And one of those classes was a theater class, and my teammates said that they never really, they said they never went to class. So I took it literal, so I never went to class. And the teacher called me up and said because I never came to his class that he couldn't give me a passing grade unless I did a play for him, and he needed a guy to be crooks of mice and men, and he wanted me to do it. And I really didn't want to do it. I had no intentions on being an actor. I had no intentions on even going to this class, but my coach thought it would be a good idea for me to do this play, and he'd bring the team to laugh at me. It was like a rookie hazing thing. And I kind of fell in love with acting at that point. Like, I did the play and fell in love with acting, but I was still mostly into playing football, so I didn't really pursue the acting or pursue the plays or any of that kind of stuff. It was when I got hurt is when I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll try acting.
Let's talk a little bit about, so while you were, kind of getting your feet wet in the acting world, you also had some success as a stand-up comedian. Can you tell our audience a little bit about that?
I did. I did some stand-up for a while. It was really fun. It was really nerve-wracking. But it was really fun. It was an experience that I wouldn't trade. I would probably go back into it because it was so much fun and you got so much instant gratification. But it's very time consuming, and so I don't know. But I did love it. I love doing stand up. I did at like the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory. I went around like to Arizona. I mean, it was really fun, and it was a part of my life that was really cool.
Awesome to hear. Now let's go try and make the transition back into your acting career. Now you've done some pretty great stuff early on. You were in. I'm looking at your credits here. You were on the TNT shows French Fries and Animal Kingdom, and also on an HBO show titled Togetherness. And you also did Showtime series Roadies. You also did another Showtime series called Shameless. You also did Scorpius on CBS and Sons of Anarchy on the network FX. Tell me, what was kind of like some of the experiences that you learned being on those shows?
So all of those shows were like really different. You know, like Sons of Anarchy, it was more like a family. Like it was like a brotherhood. Those dudes were really fun. They were like children. It was like the director had to like tone us down every once in a while and yell at us and be like, all right, guys, stop playing and let's shoot the scene, like that kind of stuff. And it felt like you were a kid again. But some of them feel like adult shows, like The Ringer felt like an adult show where you go, you work, you just go home. And some other shows where you just like have a ton of fun, like Roadies was really fun. Ballers was obviously really fun. But all of these things you take something different from because it's a different feel. You're working with different people. They run the show, the showrunners run the show differently. So you take something from each and every one of them. Hopefully it's how to be professional and how to have fun and how to make some art and then go home and enjoy it. But that's what I kind of take from every set, just how to try to be better.
And speaking of taking that fun from learning from every set and how to be fun, you also in Snoop Dogg's Bossing Up, and also a movie called Gridiron Gang with The Rock. Tell our audience about those experiences with Bossing Up and Gridiron Gang.
Bossing Up was like the first real thing I've ever done. So that was like getting a call home and be like, I'm in a movie with Snoop Dogg. I'm doing a movie with Snoop Dogg. That was amazing. The Gridiron Gang, that was like, I got to work with The Rock. That was my first time working with The Rock and Exhibit. And that was really fun. And it was like at a detention center in Malibu and just a bunch of kids hanging out and doing like kid things, like hanging out. We played football a lot. We like rapped. We played board games. It was just really fun. It was really fun on set all the time because it was just a bunch of dudes doing dude things. And then it turned out to be a really good movie as well.
Speaking of being really good, you reunited with The Rock on one of HBO's most popular series, Ballers, and your role was PTD, which was Ricky Jarrett's best friend. For those of you that may not be familiar with the show, Ricky Jarrett was played by John David Washington, who was the son of Denzel Washington, but you really had a great role in the show Ballers. Just kind of talk about that experience, not only reconnecting with The Rock, but also working with John David Washington and the rest of the crew on that show.
I mean, that crew was fun. It was like, that was more like a family. Like, it was kind of like every time you got to go back to work, it was like a family reunion, and then they were like, oh, the camera's out, start shooting. So Ballers was just all fun. It was an amazing experience. It changed my life. I'll never forget this. But going to work there with John David, I remember just even our first day of work, it was kind of like, hi, this is John David, this is Carl McDowell, you guys will be working together. And then it was instant chemistry. Like, we were instantly best friends, it seemed like. From just from our conversations, just from our first conversation till like our last conversation or the conversation we'll have next, we were instantly like connected somehow. And then it seemed like it just came out on camera because it seemed like we were best friends. We were like instantly best friends.
Let's stay right here for a moment with Ballers, because you, John David, and of course The Rock, all of you guys were former collegiate athletes. So I know you guys have a competitive nature, a competitive streak. It had to have been competitive being on that program because there were also NFL players that made cameos on that show with the likes of Terrell Suggs and also Julian Edelman, just to name a few. Was that competitive fire taken on set as well as off set?
I don't think it ever really got too competitive. I mean, like, we did do things like throw the ball around, or if it was a basketball scene, we shot the ball, and it was fun and all. But like, we all played college. We were there with famous. So we rarely got too competitive with those guys. Even though I knew I could beat those dudes and everything, I'd be like, you got it, guys, you got it.
All right, well, cool. Let's stay with the show Ballers again. So the role that you played was TTD, and you were known as to be a very loyal friend to Ricky. Was there any differences between you and TTD, or were you guys kind of one and the same?
I think we kind of one and the same. I think he's way more political than I am. He'll jump on his high horse real quick. I'm more just see how things go kind of guy and take it as it comes. He's more flashy than I am with the jewelry, but other than that, I mean, I am a loyal friend, and I look at TTD and I'm like, I want to hang out with that guy. I'd be best friends with him, and that's kind of how I am.
Are you sad that the show ended?
Oh my God, yes. I'm bummed about that.
Do you know the reason why the show ended? Because evidently it was a pretty big rating success on HBO.
I don't know why it ended. I wish I could tell you why it ended, but I have no idea. I just think, I don't know, man. I wish I had something to say right there, but I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Maybe you should do some digging and find out. But I just feel like they said it was ending, and then Dwayne made the decision, and that was that.
All right, well, fair enough. Well, speaking of decisions, I know in your hometown of Chicago, the Chicago Bears have had a lot of decisions to make. What's your thoughts on the Monsters of the Midway?
My thoughts are, okay, so the defense is what it is. It's keeping people to like 20 points and under, which it's doing its job. And if we get a quarterback that can throw the ball a little bit or game manage a little bit, we'd be in a better position right now.
Carl, do you think the Bears offense would be really lit if they had a Deshaun Watson or even a Patrick Mahomes?
Yes. Yeah, if we had Patrick Mahomes, we'd be killing the game. Like, if the Bears had Mahomes, if you just traded that situation, the Bears would be like a team that you just couldn't beat. They'd be unbeatable with Mahomes or with Deshaun Watson.
Okay, we'll go and talk about another Chicago sports team, the Chicago Bulls. We know the history. Jordan, Pippen, Rodman. I mean, just great teams there. But since Derrick Rose has left the team, the Bulls have just kind of been in a rebuilding mode, in a rebuilding process. They do have some bright spots.
It is what it is. They are rebuilding. They got to rebuild. Hopefully they can get something going. Who knows what they're going to do, though? I mean, since Jordan left, they kind of been like, I don't know, man. And that was a long time ago. Long time ago.
You've also got some music stuff on the side. You've got a band that you're part of called Left on Laurel, where you're a bass player. Tell our audience just what the band Left on Laurel is all about in terms of what type of music that you guys play and the music that you guys were influenced by.
So we all influenced by different things. So this band is kind of like easy listening. I would say like Wallflowers, like the Eagles, kind of, sort of. So it's really easy listening. I call it playlist music because you can put it on any playlist and you won't be mad about it. It's a rock band. I play the bass. Michael Rosenbaum is the lead singer. My friend Rob Danson's on the lead guitar, and he's amazing. He has solos. He does these cool solos. My friend Kent Irwin's on the drums, and Tom Lally plays the other guitar. And that's us. We're a 5-piece band, and we've toured Germany.
All right, solid to hear. Left on Laurel has a album out called Saved by the Ground. And can you tell our audience just a little bit briefly about the album Saved by the Ground?
It's an album we've been working on for like a year. Our friend Jason Mans, he heard us playing in the basement, and he thought we should make an album, and we went and made this album, and we were really proud of it. It's really cool. It's fun to say I got an album out. And it's a cool album. If you listen to it, you won't be disappointed. It's got some cool songs on there. My favorites is Desperate Side of Town, Fire, and Right Side of the Canyon. Those are all cool, but they're all cool songs to me.
All right, and Left on Laurel, Saved by the Ground is available on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, also Deezer, and CD Baby. And also tell our audience about another musical project that you're a part of with C.J. Hammond Music.
C.J. Hammond. So my friend Mark Rodriguez, he plays piano for C.J., and he found this guy this guy wasn't singing like 7 months ago. This guy was just acting, and like I think he's a model or something. And he asked me if I'd play bass on one of this guy's songs, and I was like, yeah, send me the song. He sent me the song, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, I want to play bass on this song. So I played bass on it, and then he asked if I'd play bass on more songs. I was like, yeah, I'll do anything for this guy because he can sing. He can really sing, kind of like an R&B feel, but like it has like a old, like a Motown kind of feel, like if John Legend went Motown. So it's kind of like that feel to it. And so I play bass for him.
All right, awesome to hear. And CJ has a song titled I'm Lost, and you can find it available on all the digital platforms. That's Apple Music, Spotify, also iTunes, Deezer, Amazon Music, and also on YouTube. So now, Carl, currently, where can people find you on social media? And if you have a website, let them know that as well.
On social media, it's Carl D. McDowell on Instagram, Carl D. McDowell on Twitter, and Facebook is just Carl McDowell, just my name.
Well, you heard it from him. He's Carl McDowell. Not only is he was an accomplished athlete, but he's also doing major things in the entertainment world, from acting to also doing some things on the music side. Carl, thank you so much for being with us on the program.
Thank you, Ed.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.